One of the reasons that I'm personally really excited for Samsung SmartThings to add in a lot of local automation is because, quite frankly, I'm tired of hearing how great Home Assistant is. But more seriously, the local home control will become such an important component of SmartThings as it will create automations that are more reliable and much faster. And it truly will usher in a whole new era of automation in our lives that will go beyond the smart home. And to understand the full scope and breadth of what I mean there, you're just going to have to follow us here on YouTube for a bit of time. Now, as of today, you can apply for access to the beta program, and the beta program with Samsung SmartThings includes a new firmware that has local home automation on it. Sadly, being that I'm from Canada, well, I didn't get approved for the program, and this is the case for many of the things out there, but our friend SmartThings Beat did get approved for this. You can follow him on Twitter. So he did give us some insight into how this is going, and the first thing is that you will see a little L next to all of your automations that are local, and that's really great, but honestly that's just a status coming directly from the IDE where it says local already, so there's not a big difference there. However, Jimmy, who is SmartThings Beat, did reference that he was experiencing faster automations when they were local, and he actually said that he was experiencing less of a popcorn effect as his different lights came on. So it's tying things tighter together and allowing multiple signals to come out quicker. There are a couple of limitations though, or actually a number of limitations, and a little while ago I showed you how to use modes in Samsung SmartThings because they're extremely powerful to kind of customize your home for different things you're doing or different times during the day, and unfortunately those cannot be used within a local automation just yet. The other gap is around sunset and sunrise. I don't feel like this should be a gap, but as of now it is using the cloud service to go find out when sunrise and sunset is. But really, can't they just grab a table and pull it in? I don't know. The biggest limitation though is actually based on the types of devices you have, and we all have our favorite sensor or our favorite device, but oftentimes they will require a custom device handler because they can do so much, and as soon as you have that custom device handler, well, you cannot get a local automation. Now, what is going to happen with this is part of this big shift, and that is that those custom device handlers, you will get an option to convert to a standard device handler. Now, I feel like the timeline here is about the next 3 months to start having certain devices get pushed in or optionally pushed in to a standard device handler, and when that happens, those devices would be available for local automation execution. And for you advanced folks, you know, I feel like you've been left out in the cold for a little bit here, and I want to address some of how this impact or this shift is going to help you. Now, if you're using Webcore, it's kind of a scary time. You're maybe feeling like those pistons are all going to go away, but that's not the idea. We should see a version of a localized Webcore execution available for your hub. Now, on top of that, the custom device handlers, although they are going away as much as Samsung can make that happen, Samsung knows that they cannot get rid of all of those capabilities and all of the great work that was created through those custom device handlers. Those aren't going away, and you will have the opportunity to still build your own even as the Groovy platform does go away. In my home, I will have a number of things that just probably will never go local, and that means that at some point I have to decide whether or not I want those things in my home, and you know what, as a community we'll have to decide that as well. I've been talking about SwitchBot quite a bit on the channel as of late. They sponsored a couple of videos, and then I decided to show you guys the hidden tips and tricks with that platform, and one of the things that kept coming back as a correct comment on that video was that, you know what, SwitchBot is not local. No matter what we do, it's not a locally available API. I cannot integrate it with certain things and get that really fast execution. So they are kind of part of this situation. And that's exactly how the SwitchBot and the SmartThings integration works. It's cloud connected, and it requires basically from SwitchBot to go up to their cloud, over to the SmartThings cloud, back down to your hub, and in reverse if you got to go back. And that's where this next shift really will change things for companies like that. Heading to smartthings.com just less than a year ago, you would have come upon a really consumer-focused website, and actually a really dated-looking consumer-focused website. But nowadays, what you're going to find is it is heavily developer and manufacturer-focused on bringing in different clients to create solutions for SmartThings. Plus, it's even full of different options for how they can do that. So you can still go the old cloud-to-cloud integration route, but actually there's a Samsung cloud usage option where you can just use their cloud to integrate, and this will then include opportunities or options for just being locally connected. Obviously that's available for Zigbee and Z-Wave devices, especially as we get to those more standard device handlers, but this can go beyond the standard Zigbee and Z-Wave into Wi-Fi, into Bluetooth, into other connection protocols. So through this, what we're going to see are more devices developed specifically for SmartThings, or more devices that will be local to the SmartThings platform. And whether or not they've still got to go out to that cloud for a little bit of help is a different story, but we're going to see options for that. Another big shift is in how you can get some of those beta features. So I talked about there being a beta program, and you have to go to their forums and you have to sign up, and then you have to get picked, and it's all this web-based thing. And I hate to say it, but we're not in the 90s anymore, and forums aren't necessarily the best spot to kind of try and put out programs like this. So instead, what Samsung is doing is they're moving to an app-based beta program, and you will now find this, if you're in the US or Korea, available as a smart app download for you. That smart app is called SmartThings Labs, and when you go and you install it, you're going to find some new, what I'd call semi-advanced capabilities that you've probably been looking for and have felt like have been missing from the new application. One of them is virtual switch creation. This is a really easy way to create your virtual switches if you can get that now. Plus there's the gentle wake up, and there's things to do when you leave home. So it's kind of like Amazon's hunches. You really just are getting these features in an early opportunity sort of way in the application just by enabling them. You'd have to be hiding under a rock to have missed the fact that SmartThings hardware is no longer available. And really what I'm talking about is the V3 version of all of their devices, like this sensor here. So we're finally seeing some of the Aeotec products come out for pre-orders around the world. I mean, at this point, the hub is available in a lot of countries and will be fulfilled actually really quickly. We'll see subsequently those sensors come out, and the thing that I think is missing is that it's not like SmartThings is putting all their eggs in the Aeotec basket. No, this is going to be much larger than that, and you're going to have more opportunities coming for buying SmartThings hardware. And if you look to this next shift in the platform, it's really all about Samsung with a B2B business partnering with other companies to get the SmartThings hub in other types of devices. And when you look at some of the older business plans or developer conferences, one thing that you might note within those is that Samsung has been saying, we're going to get this, our hub and the platform and the software into things like routers that ISPs put in your home, and with utility providers as they bring in different components to your home and they get smarter. So you're going to have access to the SmartThings platform in other ways. And really what I'm talking about here is a certification that was big enough to pull Nest into the fold, and that's Google's biggest smart home platform, or actually the name of all of their products. And what I'm talking about is the Works with Samsung SmartThings program, which carries 60 plus million people as of middle of last year, plus a ton of new people that are coming in every day off of the back of all of their new different products that can use this platform to create more connectivity in our lives. And lots of this really just talks about the smart home, but I have to be honest that my focus is not just in the smart home. I know we talk about it here all the time on Automate Your Life, but it has to be more than that for our lives to really start to become simpler, or for us to save more time in our lives. And that's the future, or the next big shift in Samsung SmartThings. What we have to do is get outside of the home with some of our technology that can be connected with a platform like this. And when you look at CES, everything that came out of that, plus you look at all of the new product releases, things like the new Galaxy Smart Tags that you can take out and you're able to locate things, but they can actually be used as automation components. And actually, I'm already seeing this on our Facebook group where people are using that smart tag as part of their automations, a replacement for the old button. But it's not just those Galaxy Smart Tags that Samsung is using to get outside your home. I mean, we have a TV that can go outside the home in the terrace, but you have the Galaxy phones themselves. Plus, you now have Android Auto integration. And actually, when you think about that integration, plus the technology around the fins on the top of cars that give you that LTE connectivity, or in the future, 5G, which we know Samsung is on the forefront of as well, they are creating all of these opportunities for you to have better automation outside of your home and yet still get it connected with SmartThings. Will there be pain as we go through these transitions, these changes, these migrations? Absolutely. And to be honest, I'm probably going to cry about it as much or more than you do. So you can look forward to me whining about that. But at the same time, this platform, I want to reaffirm that it has that future look ahead to it. It is preparing to make your smart home better, plus to connect the rest of your life. And that is very rare in the smart home industry. And I think that future look ahead is so important. And that's why I create videos like this, so that you know where the industry is headed and you don't necessarily just jump to a new smart home hub that has a couple of new fancy features, because you will be left behind by the more important ones that can actually save you time. Now, in order for you to understand the full scope of what's going on here and how I see the smart home playing out in the next few years, you gotta watch the playlist that is up on screen right now. That's going to give you the full look ahead and all of the details you need to be prepared. So go check that out. Otherwise, guys, thanks for watching today. And of course, don't hate, automate.